The things that really matter to society these days are questions about sustainability, they're questions about climate change, they're questions about resources. These questions are fundamentally determined by science that integrates across biology and geology. South Australia is one of the best places to look at some of the early effects of animals on the geologic and biospheric record. We have that record preserved in geology here, and people come from all over the world to see that.
Reg treated going to a new field as if, I guess a bit like going to the moon. You know, you've got one opportunity to get as much information as you can, and while you might be there for looking at a mine, you also take a look at everything else you can and try and put the big picture together.
Reg Sprigg was a pioneer. He was a very interesting, very charismatic individual. He did three very important things. He was a conservationist, so he established Arkaroola as a geologic park, but also as a geobiology park and a biospheric reserve. He also discovered the Ediacaran fauna in the Ediacaran Hills of South Australia, and he was very instrumental in exploring and establishing new energy companies in South Australia. The Earth's system can damp CO2 variability, but it doesn't damp it at the level that we need to support the type of systems that support humans today. The Ediacaran Period defines when animals appeared on Earth, our first record. It occurs after a very, very substantial period of biospheric change. So while today we face some pretty critical questions, and one of those critical questions, of course, is what is climate change and what will it look like? It's preserved in the geologic record, and it's just up to us to pursue those in the rigor that's necessary to interpret them and understand them.
Reg was fascinated by just the natural world around him. He saw the whole system, everything functioning together, and therefore, trying to understand the linkages.
What is really important about the geologic record is that it tells us about reality and about how a complex system like the Earth really does change versus how we think it should or how it's convenient for us to understand it. It actually gives us a chance to test some of our predictions. I'm hoping Sprigg Geobiology Centre provides that interface. It provides that new focus or refocus of the people that are doing research at the moment that will go in new directions. And I'm also thinking this provides a center in the Australian research field where people can come to do this sort of research. It's really not very prominent in Australia at the moment. And if we can bring different people from different disciplines together, we can solve and approach some of these critical issues.